Continuing my conversation about Frankie and the rapes and the money, the house, I think it's important because I'm not the one that divide. I'm not the one with the divider. I'm not the one that says who gets a piece of the pie, who gets the cherries for the Cooper family, and help Kenneth out and the white supremacists that are making this a racial supremacy. I'm not the one that says you get this much and you get that much and. So the psychologists and everything, as much as they took advantage of everything and did what they did, they're still in control to this very day and have more control even now. They stole all my work earnings. They stole everything I'd ever done. You don't understand how much I suffered, how much I worked, and what I went through as a kid, even for myself, thinking that maybe if I have to say, what do you think Frankie went through to try to get a little bit of that money, to try to have a house and a place to live? And they took everything. Everything. I didn't even get to sign on the dotted fucking line to say, I was only given the right to sign on the dotted line when my dad is at a fucking funeral home. You haven't buried him yet, and he's they put a white sheet over you to identify the dead body. And me, Frankie, and Julian went to the funeral home, and I don't think they had us sign on the dotted line that day because they try to not. Funeral homes don't want you to do that. They try not to infuse paperwork with money and paperwork with seeing a dead body right then and there after. So you go visit the dead body, identify it, and then you leave and you come back the next day and then you sign the rest of the paperwork. So they give you a couple of days in between. But we get there, and I say this, and this is how bad it is, and I forgot what I was going to say, and I just felt like somebody shot me in my kneecap. But I think it's important to talk about this money, this house, because if I'm saying that I suffered all, and I'm telling you, I got raped a few times. This is what we're trying to survive. We're a family. My mother's like trained to pretend this never happened, to just try to make life happen. Because this is about how hard Ken Cooper can punch for the white boys and cowboys and for the Cooper family, and how he's a cowboy police officer, a detective. And he knows what Jesus Christ is, and he knows how to hit like Jesus Christ, and the power of that bullshit. It's none of that. This is a demon. This is a very bad person. It's evil beyond anything. Especially someone who threatens you with a police officer's uniform. So, I cannot clear this enough. On a Christmas present, you want to know, Sarah Cooper, Ken Cooper, Kenneth knew about that. Both those adults knew when they showed up. When I was 5 years old, when Frankie had been raped. So, and they were taunting it with my mother, and they figured my mother would probably have known it. Remember who's wetback? Remember who's Mexican? Remember who white boy detective, police officer, respective law enforcer? Huh? He just doesn't detective. No, Sarah's doing detective. No, just make excuses. The president is what covered that up. And they knew that they were. They didn't persecute them like they persecuted me. I couldn't even walk or go down. I couldn't even drive my car 3 blocks away. I couldn't walk half a mile. I couldn't drive my car half a mile to get a hamburger without getting a ticket. Right after cancer. Oh, but they're making sure who lives a comfortable life right over there, huh? You're talking about Miguel. He's Mexican, and it sucks. He's Mexican, his wife is, it sucks, because I'm Mexican. And I don't think Miguel knew how to speak Spanish very well. He knew how to speak poquito, a little. Diana knew how to speak Spanish a little bit better. And that was, and it sucks. But that's the story to it, and I think it's important because my mother would have not, I don't think I could sit there. I think she would probably start crying, or she just doesn't want to feel bad and guilt. But if I don't know how I would ever tell her. If I don't ever tell her, then I'm never going to bring it up to her if she doesn't feel comfortable and tells me she doesn't want to. But that before any I've ever asked her, I don't think she would feel comfortable because she thinks that I'm going to try to make her feel guilty. because it's her fault she didn't do anything. And then she gets mad at me when I'm really just trying to tell her, look, Frankie had his asshole fucked the shit out of and punched the fuck out of, and Ken Cooper let him know who the hero was by demonstrating with through Kenneth and the Cooper family and the police department. We can't do anything about when I got fucking raped in Mexico. We can't do anything when I got raped in front of the couch. You know, we can't do anything about this guy fucking raping the shit out of your son in other situations I know could have happened when he chopped that rabbit's head off in front of you and in front of me. And that was your uncle. But if I had something good to try to say something for this, for that little boy that was Frankie, that he tried to fight for himself. I mean, he was holding his ground. He was stern and trying to hold his fucking ground from a person that was. Frankie probably weighed 60 pounds, if that. He did not weigh more than 70 pounds. And Frankie was 7 years old. Because I remember being 5 to 4. I was 5 to 4 years old. Frankie was about 7 years old. Because I'm 4 years older than Frankie. Frankie's birthday is on the 27th of this month, which is a couple of days after Christmas. And he's 4 years, and then he turns 4 years older than me. So I'm like 3.5, I think. He was born in 1979. But anyway, at a 7-year-old boy weighs average. Frankie was not really big or tall. He was fat at all. He was kind of skinny, you know. He's always been skinny like I was. He seemed pretty normal, average size of all the other kids. Average kid to about 7 years old at that age when he got punched, he's about 60 pounds. No more, 70 pounds is pushing it, but he's about 50 to 60 pounds. If that. I don't know how much, because he was pretty skinny, he's pretty small. I'm going to say he's about 55 pounds. 50 to 60 pounds is where I put it the closest ratio. You could probably look up the medical records what he weighed. So when you punch a ragdoll and let him know, I'm going to show you how Kenneth does it through hip-hop and forgiveness story, using the crucifix in his gay community like the guy downstairs. Because this is how you punch a little boy and show you how Merry Christmas goes. Okay, well, whatever. The bitterness, all this anger, that's what I feel like at times. But that's the truth. That's what happened. He fought for his life. You know, he tried, and, you know, he did the best that he could. But you can't do nothing whenever then Barack Obama then fucks him in the ass again and saying, okay, forget about the past. We're going to make transgender Ken Cooper's family and forgiveness story. And we're going to make this scum Hector, and we'll show America what American flag bullshit is. And there's nothing. It's Auschwitz. They did it in the Holocaust. They did it through time history. They stay on the top of the food chain, and they don't. It's not about justice. It's about stealing and taking and manipulating. And this is not a good-hearted, good morals. There's no moral compass that they're good using good for this at all. But that's what I have to say about that. Very dearly is that he tried to fight for his life. He did. He tried. I'm telling you, like, I don't even know if he tried pushing him. And, like, because I do remember, the only thing I remember that's 100% clear that I remember, I don't know if he tried pushing like that, but he was like this, like, no, like, and I don't know if he then engaged to try to push him away, but I saw this, no, don't, like, trying to defend because he was trying to pull his pants down and give him the fucking that Ken Cooper wanted him to get away with. And, you know, it's really about, you know, this guy downstairs and how he's going to defend before the murder-suicide and murdering that story off with this crucifix gun. But, you know, like I said, I think it's important because if a mother's willing to do that and not understand, then she shows up to this barbershop, then they shave her head, and I talk about that we go, you know, we're getting older, and there's so many rapes, and there's so much threats in your job sites as well, there's nothing that you can do. I don't blame my mother to say and feel that you didn't want to do anything because it was Sarah Cooper. No, you know Sarah Cooper, you. No, it's because she's not able to. If you don't just allow that to happen and move forward and put some Pepto-Bismol or whatever on it, a quick little easy Band-Aid and move forward, you're not going to get anywhere because they're going to retaliate whenever you report it, something bad does happen. And everyone found out, and Miguel found out, then they started putting pressure toward Miguel and Diana. Then they went after my mother because he started crying and feeling sad, and you get to see that. You don't see the guys in fucking prison when they're crying and tortured and being raped and fucking fucked up and beat the shit out of by the cops and the inmates, and how detailed it is with the judges and all the corrupted shit that goes on there. You don't get to see that and feel sorry for none of that. But when you feel sorry for this guy, motherfucker, that he's living in a 3-bedroom fucking house with his wife and a transgender, oh yeah, then attack my fucking mother because I just like you shaved her fucking head. Oh, but you don't know about that story because you're gonna get a Cooper suit story. Yes, there. This is an angel story right now, huh? Now, pick and choose who you think got a better story. Pick and choose of your differences and preferences and perceptions. The truth is, I lived a pretty shitty life and don't understand that what I'm dealing with is I'm dealing 30 years down the fucking road. After this, 20 years after the fucking road this happens, I've experienced this at my job sites. Because you got a guy that's allowing, and then all his mascots want to feel sorry for the pig. The time's gone. They already know there's not going to be justice as well. Now it's just to put you in a safe zone, to fuck you off. Because now they want to get rid of me. And they don't know what love is. They don't. And they're going to continue to persecute in ingenious ways. This is my mother. They're telling me how to love my mother. They're telling me what that love is, how it needs to be with my mother. It's very detailed specifically to allow their supremacy and all the horrors that had happened for that money. They stole from my dad, my mother's dementia, and manipulated her twin. That's what I think. That's what I know happened, 100%. Because she needs money, she needs to be able to survive. It's her identical twin. But understand, that's what happened. They took all my efforts, all my work, the suffering I did, the tears, the pain that I went through, being loyal to my father. I didn't get anything. They took the house and all the money and didn't give an explanation. I didn't have a family. But it was okay to then feed all these people. And I was nearly digging in trash cans, so you know the story about them, what they did to me and what they continue to do. But I think it's important for me to talk about because if this money got saved, like they didn't let me have it, they bought my mom a house, someone bought the house and secured it and set the money on an account for me, Julian, and Frankie to have later down the road. Even 20 years later, I saw Kim Kardashian, her dad or something made a videotape to watch, to see, at 20 years, 30 years after their dad died, a video of a good wife farewell and saying, I'm no longer alive anymore, I want to make sure I love you, say I love you, I care about you, whatever. And it's just sort of, they're in outer space or whatever in the background. I don't know what the situation is. I saw some of the clips of it. And who's to say my father could have done something like that? Who's to say that, okay, Mr. Raymond Palomo has this money, we got to figure out who did take the money, if any of it. Maybe some of it most of it got spent. Because Frankie probably wouldn't be told all the truth. Because remember, Frankie's being raped the whole time. Remember, they want to see if Frankie even spilled the beans on that. All you got to do, in most cases, if Frankie doesn't want to spill the beans that this guy raped Frankie, then he doesn't want to say about anything else either. I'm the one that's doing it. And, telling him it's his pain and suffering, but it's Kenneth's glory at the radio station through hip-hop, and all his supporters and celebrities that are doing it, because they're all gay over there. Everyone knows Hollywood is all gay. That's 100% there. That's all it's there. But, I think it's important because, this money in this house may still be available. They know that if I try to get a lawyer, they're going to cut me off. because I want to go after the people that control this money and figure out who manipulated the situation. They knew about the rapes. They didn't give a fuck what happened to me. They put me to work. When I was a kid, my mom had me go over there, and I didn't have to. I didn't have to go there and feel empathetic like that. And I'm doing this because I'm doing this for my mother as well. As much as I'm doing, you think I'm retaliating, trying to steal the money at that moment in time. I'm doing this for my mother so she doesn't have to pick up the garbage of a divorce. I am. Oh, okay, now they're going to go steal the money. They don't care. They did. They stole the fucking money in my entire future. Who got the party in the house and whose house was it? Exactly. So, I think it's important because this money may be available. I think it is. I think that this money got set. Maybe someone bought this house. I talked to a guy by the name of Joey, and I think this guy was a teacher. I don't know what the circumstances, but it's very suspicious because I've had a lot of dangerous people come around me while I've been homeless the last 10 years. 15 years, horrors because of the Michael Jackson curse of that. But I thought it was important for me to say something because if this money's still available, what I think happened is that they bought my mother a dream makeover's house. They lied to me. They kept me out of the picture. They kept me under their personal camp prison while they could just rape me and they can shoot me and they can play me stupid and then never blame themselves or people that did this to keep quiet because they were running their own plans against what had happened with my immediate family. That they bought my mother a mansion, probably 4 bedrooms at least, 5 bedrooms, 2 for Julian, Marco is in his twin, Julian in his twin, and my mother. So that would make it at least a 5-bedroom house. If my mom has a twin, which she does, at least one of them, maybe a triplet, I think it's possibly a triplet, that's a 6-bedroom house. That's a fucking mansion. A 6 to 7 bedroom house, that's a fucking mansion. That's a huge fucking house. You know how big a house has to be to have 6 fucking... There are Hollywood homes that have 4 or 5 bedrooms, and this has to be, their bedrooms has to be very large for their size to feel comfortable. They're not the same size of bedrooms. In my 3-bedroom house that I grew up in, the bedrooms are really fucking small. They're the smallest a bedroom can fucking be in any of the city of Carrollton. Not only am I in the smallest fucking house in like the city of Carrollton, they build the fucking rooms fucking the smallest of any of the houses. Now, to fit a teenage boy to have a good comfortable room, you gotta have a pretty decent room. So it's probably gonna be, in my opinion, Dream Makeover's house. You probably build Marco and Julian a walk-in closet and all kinds of shit like that. It's probably going to be twice as big as the rooms that I grew up in, or Julian did at one time, right? Marco and all that. How big is that house? You got 6. My mom's identical twin, but my mother has dementia. 6 children, 4 kids, 6 people living in a house. And if there's a triplet, you would have had someone else. That's a 6 to 7 bedroom mansion house. One of the reasons I think that there's a bedroom mansion of a house is because when I went to go live on a Craigslist ad, some lady was renting out a room that was behaving like Sarah Cooper. Exactly. She said she worked for a pet shop and said that she had a 14-bedroom mansion. I walked near, she toured me through the house. This house is fucking huge. I mean, on the outside, on the outside, it doesn't look like that big of a house, but the house went long, deep into the fucking property. And there was a lot of bushes and like sort of trees, so you really couldn't, and it was dark shingles, so you really couldn't see how big the house was. When you walked in there, this house is fucking huge. I mean, it's fucking huge. That has to be at least, to build a dining room a living room, a kitchen, and appliances, and a 5 bedroom house for my mom, her sets of twins, and an identical twin, or if not, there's at least 6 to 7 rooms you got to build. For 6 or 7 rooms to build, you got to build for the adults and the kids, and you got a dining room and a living room you got to build, and any other rooms that I don't even know of, a game room, I don't even know if that, right? Because especially you're going to probably have to spend about close to $1 million home. It's probably going to be close to $1 million. The property, the foundation, then you got to buy cars. $125,000 out of a real estate value at my dad's house, and $50,000 cash. Total altogether was $175,000. That doesn't include the car, the truck that my dad had that was given away to Lucio, and any other cars that we had, which we had like a blue car for a while, the Dodge Intrepid also. No one knows. That money isn't going to be enough to put your kids together. So what happens with this money? What happened to this real estate value and this cash? Who took control over it? So what happens is this money may still be available. And I don't know if I have any legal right to it. I already talked about how much control they have over my life. I know they're going to cut me off. That's fucking 100%. For me to try to even attempt to even think that I have a shot to try to get an attorney and go after the lawyers or the people that went after my money to take my fault, because I could never explain this enough. I don't want anything to do with my mother's house, real estate. Obviously, I was cut off a long time ago. I don't want to step foot in the house. That is her house. That is the kids that grew up there. Whatever clothes, you have to go buy them a shopping spree, go buy you some jeans and clothes. Who's going to do the supporting? Who's going to pay for the bills? Who's going to pay for the bills? And who's going to pay for the clothes? Your kids. To feed 4 fucking twins costs a lot of fucking money. Tons of fucking money. I grew up and Frankie used to give me his clothes. When he would go up one grade, my mom would buy him new clothes, and then she would buy his clothes would get passed down to me if it was still good. That's how it was for us when we grew up. So I think it's important for me to say, you probably didn't send my mother to you bought a house, you probably didn't send her to no fucking Ross, like I had to shop my whole life. Even if you went to Walmart, you're going to spend a fortune. You're probably going to spend a lot of money. It's still I'm not here to disclaim that. I think it's a beautiful thing that someone did do something like that, but that's not what their intentions were, even though let's say that they were. It was that money, and it was that house, and it was to squander the rapes and me of what they did. Phil and just shot me here on my hand, here on this ring finger. So I think it's important for me to discuss this, because I've known that I've known that since I was at least 37 years old to 38. Or maybe it was over the age of 35 for sure. I think that they did buy my house. Yeah, I knew about my house, my mom's house. I started to come to that conclusion I was in my early 30s, because at that time when I moved a couple of years down and I started to understand, wait a minute, I'm homeless underneath the bridge, I'm 34 years old, I'm in Alaska, I'm in Seattle, Washington. I start to come up with these remembrances and say, wait a minute, if you're living with Lucio, then what about the twins? Wait a minute, if you have the who paid for this? Oh, guess what? So I think I've known since the age of 35, $1 million giveaway. What they don't have a right to touch, what they don't have a right to give away and control, and the justice and persecution that I want to do is against these people that had done this to me. Because they knew they were going to send their faggots and make justification. Frankie was having his ass ripped open for 10 fucking years. From the age of 5 years old to the last time that it happened, when he was 13 years old. He was about 13 to 14. He wasn't older than, he could have been 12 because we were at the bar. I'm 4 years old. Yeah, he was older. He was about 13 to 14 years old the last time that ever happened. He was about 13 years old. It was right before he went to karate, right before he started training in martial arts, in taekwondo. And because when we went to the bar, I talked about there was a guy that raped him, and there was a sheet, like the janitor or like the guy that was like, there was a wall, and he went back there, and I could smell, and I saw this guy behind Frankie in the shadows, let him know how Ken Cooper was, a detective, So, but it's okay. We're going to make an ingenious fixing of this. So that's the story of it. So that I do know. That I know they built a house, but just up until I think right now that I really come to think of it, they have 2 twins. Julie and Marco are both twins. That's 4 kids. How much money does it take to put a mother and 2 sets of twins been abducted? That's a lot of fucking money. You can't put 4 kids and a mother in a house, even if my mother was healthy, which she's not, in a house with a dining room and living room without costing $1 million. But even in that time and day and age, it's $1 million house. So I think it's important for you. I don't give a fuck. I'm old. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I never had my family. I got raped. The President Barack Obama is the one that's going to justify it. The monkey family that he is, he cursed me, cursing me the devil. If I don't, with his look-alike transgender wife that showed up at the hospital in a priest outfit throwing holy water at me. That monkey nigger doesn't give a fuck. He's ready to kill me. And he made those actions by sending those types of people there in the moment of death. And he sent Ken Cooper. So I don't have empathy for those types of people. If somebody tries to kill me at those moments in life and I'm a disease like that, and you do that, I'm not going to have empathy for you, That's what that actions were. Now, if it was a stranger or something like that, I understand, but to some degree. But it's not like, for a person that goes to war in France, in a different country, they don't go off and just kill, you're fucking Mexican, I killed a Mexican in the war, I'm just going to start killing Mexican people. It's not really, they don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. It just not going to happen. They had nothing to do with it. So, anyway, but about this house, and my mother being in the hospital, me being in the hospital and this house situation, I know that's $1 million house. A dining room to have a family dinner table, a dinner table to put 4 kids with your mother and her twins. How much money do you think that table costs and a room has to be? That's 5 people in a fucking room and having dinner. 4 kids, a mother and her twin. The kitchen has to be masterly big. The dining room has to be probably the entire size of this apartment. The entire size of the circumference of this apartment would have to be at least about that size to put a dinner table, some kids, and maybe like a cabinet. In order to have, it would pretty close, maybe a little smaller than this apartment, but it would have to be the size of this entire living room here. Put the dinner table. Yeah, we have the size of this dinner table. So just this living room, it would have to be minimum that size. But this day and age, you can build houses very extravagant with the level of cost of construction and efforts now. Remember all the houses that are being built, dream makeovers? So you could buy a dinner table and you could fix it up, make it nice. You could. So I understand that. I've understood if you bought that dream makeovers, but now that I come to think of it, I say, damn, that's $1 million fucking house. I have nothing to say. Good luck to you. Goodwill. You suffer for it. Frankie, anal cavities covered in blood. I got raped. They don't give a fuck. They wanted to cover it up. They're doing this on purpose. That's why they were giving me tickets to throw me in prison, because they wanted me to react the way that a prison inmate reacts. That's with a gun, with a knife, with a retaliation of attempted murder or a violent crime. You go to the doghouse. Ken Cooper fucked the shit out of Frankie when he showed him how to punch, and he got fucked in his ass real good for the Cooper family. Because Kenneth is the one that did it. Because you're not going to hear about that story for 10 years, just like you didn't do 10 years over there with Ken Cooper. Because for 10 years, this motherfucker's doing this. Kenneth is at the radio station because he's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he knows how to stupid ass my mother and the rapes. Oh, I'm just going to take whatever you want and manipulate this emotion with this emotion. Oh, you see, you don't have anybody? Oh, fuck you. Oh, let me manipulate smarter and older than you. Exactly. So, I think it's important for me to talk about because Ken Cooper very much behaved. When the last time I talked to Ken Cooper and Sarah Cooper was right after my dad's funeral, it was kind of like an investigation when we went there. It was the entire situation because it was me, Julian, and Frankie, and it was just us versus them. We all had this problems, but it was to see what was going on, and God, I still feel bad for Frankie. It's awful. But going there, but Ken Cooper behaved like he was the one that gave my mother that house. Like when he's walking me, Frankie, and Julie, and he is literally, I got the keys, I'm the one that did it. He's playing detective. The guy, he had a daughter too. She had a little daughter that died, right? And he's literally just persecuting me the entire fucking time. Like, this piece of shit at the highest levels is the most disgraceful pig of a human being to do that, because you don't understand, as much as I'm thinking of this, what he's doing to my mother and claiming with Sarah Cooper and using Kenneth, and Kenneth is making the decision on his own. All the gay community now wants to make sure Kenneth turns it on his mom and dad, saying he was protecting him because he did the investigation, and then, that's not what fucking happened and what he was doing. That's bullshit. So I thought it was important for me to say this, because for Frankie to get his ass ripped open like that because she's having to sell him. Like, I'm picking up my dad at the bar. She knows I have to stay. I'm risking my life. She knows if Frankie's getting raped. How do you know Hector's not going to get raped? My mom didn't want me going to the bar. That's the thing. She didn't like me going to the bar. So I remember her saying that. She said, I don't want you going to the bar when I was a little kid. She let me go there like once or twice, but she didn't like it because I was her jewel, because they may rape me. You see what kind of chances you take? But you're going to get a Kenneth story and the justification because now you feel sorry for the old bitch. This is real life. Old people can't kill people. And a 75-year-old man can pull a handgun and kill somebody that's young. There's plenty of prison inmates that are 65, 60 years old, 55 years old, pull a handgun and kill a 25-year-old guy. They don't give a fuck. They don't have a problem. They already know they're going to die soon. They already know they're out for the killing. They're out there for disposing and make them look like an angel, or make them look like they know how to push more for their religion and goodness and heart. That's bullshit. It's because nobody knows about what's going on. So I think it's important that whoever gets these watches videos, I've never put that much thought into it. I don't know. I'm being honest. 4-bedroom, damn, I didn't even put that ever much thought into it. I know they bought the house, but bought the dream of his husband. I didn't even think of it in order to fucking put 4 kids. That's a lot of fucking. That's a huge mansion. That's $1 million mansion. Bathrooms, you gotta have at least 2 bathrooms in that house. 2 bathrooms, 6 to 7 bedrooms, and a dining. That's over probably $1 million. New appliances, you can't put a new house without new appliances. Wow. What happened to my dad's money? What happened to my dad's real estate? Why am I given $5,000? I was given $6,500 to be exact. It was somewhere between $6,000 to $7,000. I'm going to say it was like $6,800 or $6,500 for the house. This is what my mom's twin told me. My dad had $14,500 when he died from ING. This is where the money disappeared, or what I was told. Frankie, we were going to use that money to bury my father, but Ken and Sarah said, don't worry, keep the money. We'll let you keep the money, we'll pay for the funeral. Because I told Sarah and Ken, and this is in front of Robert Palomo, Michael Palomo, and Kenneth. I said, my dad said that this is money to bury him. He says, don't worry, we'll pay for it. Because we're giving you the money. So I got half of $7,500 is about $7,500 bucks. So I got about $1,400. So it was something like, it was like an $8,000 check. I think it was 8,000. Because I know I did the math, and I did not get over 15 grand. It was $14,000 with the paycheck and the house. I got like 6 or 7,000 for the house, and then like 7,000 for like the numbers, a couple $100 here and there. But it added up to 14,000, between $14,000 to $15,000, because that's what I got. But I didn't get no more than about 6 to 7. I'd say no more than, given the numbers, I don't remember them exactly, but it was not more than 14,000 altogether. I got a little bit less than half than $14,000 for, I want to say, I think it was maybe the paycheck. I think it was maybe the paycheck. Because of the house, because Frankie gave me and Julian, Frankie said, don't worry about it, we're going to spend, me, Frankie, and Julian, we're going to spend, 3 of us. We were going to split $14,000, it was $12,000, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was 12,000, yeah, I'm not sorry, that's correct. 14,000 altogether I didn't get, but between 14 and 15,000. But the house to bury my dad, the funeral cost was $10,000 to bury him, and it was like $2,000 for like the coffin, the insurance, and all this other shit. But it was $10,000 to $12,000. But my dad had $12,000, and Frankie, we were going to split it 3 ways. 12,000. What is 12,000 divided by 3? That's 4, 8, 12. We each get $4,000. 4,000 is what I'm going to get for my dad. $4,000. Then Frankie says, well, we're in the kitchen, and me and Frankie are talking, and I remember Julian flinched, and he thought that he was trying to, he was doing something about my dad's sister, or our sister that died, and there was something that he did that he knew, and he was like, no, you can't do Frankie over there, with the dead girl, or something like that. So, and I remember that, and there was kind of conflict between, they were looking at it too, like, I know too, you want the money too. It was because I was watching them, and it was kind of a tug of war, because Julian was trying to make a balance too, but he was like, and Frankie, we're at the, and we didn't held him up. I said, so how do you want to do this, Frankie? We split this up. What is 12,000 divided by 3? You get 4, you get 4. And Frankie says, don't worry. He goes, you guys can have the money. You two can split the money. So that's what happens. So for my dad, I only got 4,000. The only reason I got 4,000 was because Sarah Cooper and Ken Cooper paid for the funeral. The only reason I got that went higher than 4,000. I think that's true. That's perfect. That's correct. I got that right. I got that right. $4,000. I said that I got 6,000, which I did, but it was because Frankie didn't want that money. He didn't want the 4,000 for himself. He said, you guys can keep that money. So that's a new evidence. I only got 4,000 for that shit. It was, what's 3 divided by 12,000? I don't think it was 12,000 even. It was like 12,500. It was somewhere between 12,000 to 13, but I'm going to say it was either mid to low 12. It was between, more likely to be, it was 12,000 for sure, but it was 12,500 or 12,300. But I don't want to say it wasn't at the higher end of the 12,000 to make it 13,000. So it was 12,500 to 12,000. What is that divided by 3? 4, 8, 12, 12,000, and then you have 2, 4, 6. So it's about $4,200, $4,100, $4,150 each of us. It's 12,500, right? 150 makes it 300, 450. So that's a good estimate. I got $4,000, I got $4,000 for this shit. You goddamn motherfuckers. I got $4,000 for this shit. The only reason I got more was because Frankie was willing to say, it's okay, I'll let you have it. He was making good money at the Navy. And he got raped by 10 homosexual men. God damn, I didn't get a goddamn fucking thing. I never even thought about that. But that is the truth, because Frankie did give me the extra $2,000. I mean, for each mean joint. I would have only gotten 4 if Frankie, because I have no right to say anything about Frankie's money. It is disrespectful for me to say he's not entitled. It's the most dishonorable thing I can do. He is entitled to that, and I have to hear that's yours. So I'm only getting $4,150. So we're going to estimate that at. You're getting $4,000. I got $4,000 when my dad died. What is $4,000 divided into 7 years of labor going to a nursing home, hearing some people cry and die? I'm having to deal with that. What is $4,000 divided by 6? Here, we'll do the math. Let's see if you can see if a job pays me this well. Okay, we're going to find out how thieves work. We're going to do the math here. We're going to figure this out. Okay, so let's see if I can find this calculator. Pull this up. 6,000 divided by, what is it? No, it wasn't 6,000. It's 4,000. $4,150. Just a rough estimate. 100 because it goes. So this is what my dad gave me when he dies. This is his money, ING. $50,000 is supposed to be in. This is the money that disappeared, lied, and the attorneys and all these. Okay, so we're going to go with $4,150, right? It's divided by 3, so it equals up to my dad's funeral that we're all supposed to get. Divided by 4,000 divided by. What's it going to do the math? I'm losing my train of thought. Shooting an electronic device at me right now, that's why. $4,000 divided by 6 years. Because I say 7 years, because my dad committed suicide when I was 12. I had we'll say 6 years, even though it was a little bit more. 6 years. It was a little more than that. Okay, according to this, you're paying me $691 a year. That's what I'm getting paid. I don't get good food. My mom has to pay for my lunch money in the cafeteria. Even when I'm in 7th grade, I don't get free lunch. I don't start getting free lunch until late 7th grade or early 8th grade. 600. I did the math here. It's right there. I don't know if you can see that. 6,000. Okay. This is the money. This is what. So we're going to add $691 to 67 cents. But we're going to round this up. $700. We're going to add $9. I think that's fair enough. Round it to $700. Okay. $700 for 6 years. Do the math again. We'll say, what is it? 700 times 6 years equals $4,200. That is a very exact, close estimate. $4,200 for 6 years. I got to go to a nursing home. Where's your life? What did I do for you about all the rapes? Picking you up at the bar before you committed suicide. Nobody knows this story. What about just honoring your father because you honor your father and you love your father? Or honor the separation that you know that someone is going to die. I knew that he was going to die. I have to honor his wishes, what he told me he did. What happened to that theory? So you're just talking business? You paid me $700 a fucking year. $700 a fucking year. For 6 years he calls me 2 or 3 times a fucking week. Son, you're my son. Am I your son, or remember what Barry did to me? But it's not my dad's fault. He doesn't know. You don't know about the investigation. What about Barry's fucking worthless body, piece of shit motherfucker who was threatening me about the money and what's happening in my classroom? Remember I failed high school and I can't complete my classes? Oh, but I'm just there to steal my father's money, huh? I'm just there to steal my money. I get $700 a fucking year. $700. I gave my dad, at least in 2 separate occasions, I gave my dad like $12, $15. I gave him a 20. I gave him at least twice, 2 or 3 times. Because most of the time my mom gave me, $10 here, $15 here, never more than $20. But it was $20 or less, $10 to $20 she'd give me in ones and some coins to go buy candy bars to give to my dad so he wouldn't have to suffer at the nursing home. I can do this math. You gave me $700. I wasn't even as fucking entitled to just fucking say I was his son. And you're having this guy beat the shit out of me with electronic devices, and this is $700 a fucking year. For 6 fucking years. I'm a teenager, I'm a kid. I'm just after his fucking money. Frankie got raped by 10 homosexual men. I saved him from at least 7 of these motherfuckers. Literally pulling him out. Risking my own fucking life. My mom gets pulled by a butcher knife. I also get raped. You don't identify me as my mother's fucking kid to tell me anything. I get over 30... Let me show you. 35 fucking tickets, motherfuckers. This is the police officers. This is the police. Look. See this? I got over 60. I got $4,200, $700 a year. When I get cancer, I get over 30. This is the proof. 35 to 40 tickets. This is the proof. They're all 100% all after within 4 years from the age of 23 years old. A couple of them happened before 23. Remember, you got to threaten Hector before it starts happening for Kenneth, right? At the radio station, because this is hip hop right here. Tickets. But I have cancer. I just gave the hospital $500,000. Well, this is my dad's money. But Julian gave me the No, it's Ken Cooper. Yo, you want tickets? Remember at your job site, I told you to shut the fuck up. This is the fight for Ken Cooper and the white supreme. No, Hector's a straight man. He's trying to take money from the faggot, Raymond Palomo. No, he's trying to take money from his mom. Scare him. So you want to act crazy? You got police officers to throw him in prison. Maybe he'll pull a knife and kill somebody or use a weapon. No, we got the bad guy. No, instead, I get raped by a transgender by the end of these tickets. By the end of these tickets, I get raped. And I get arrested. They're waiting for me. Look at these tickets. These are all surcharges as well on here that will indicate it. These are all, and I don't think these have the surcharges. Yeah, there are. Surcharges are on here too. Yeah, they are. Right there. Look. Look at this. No, Hector's trying to... He's a thief. Do you know, Mom, do you know what happened to me in high school? Why maybe I'm not going to get angry as an adult? You're turning me against my mother. Oh, this is a real detective work right here, isn't it? Wait, hold on. Michael Jackson, the gay leader. How about Frankie getting ripped open and the police officers didn't want to do anything to Miguel or didn't do anything to me? It's nice to go after a Mexican because he did do it. But a white boy like Ken Cooper and Sarah Cooper, and then she gets to bleed into my dad saying that she was his daughter. Never there was attacking my mother when my dad's suicide happens. Merry Christmas, you want another ticket? Or do you want me to discipline you to steal any more life and money you have left? Because you already paid the hospital. I already paid the hospital $500,000, $500,000. Look at these tickets. You don't think this is going to scare you? You know how much money I'm making when I'm getting these tickets? I never made more than $15 an hour. My rent is, every place I ever went to, was minimum $550. And I have to give a $200 to $300 deposit. Some places were $600, some places were $650, but I always had to give at least $100 to $200 to $300 deposit. I only had one job that ever paid me $15.50 an hour, and I worked for 8 months at the EPA. Every job when I worked at Advanced Graphics paid me $12 an hour. I had to drive 45 minutes to get there. This is when I get most of these tickets. A huge majority, I would say either half or a little less than half of these tickets. Look, what happened? I'm trying to pay my bills. I just gave you $500,000, nearly died. Remember, you're catching the criminal again? But this is hip-hop joint right here. Who's going to pay? Why are you keeping me from saying anything about my dad's money? About my dad's house? Why do you have the right to put me in labor to steal all the effort and everything, and I get a disgraceful funeral for my father? When Sarah Cooper's laughing because this is hip-hop, Ken is standing in front of the fucking casket. Look at this. You don't think this scares? Look at these tickets. You don't think it keeps going? Remember, what do you think this does to a cancer patient when you're bald? Just got out of a hospital, you're young. You don't have any family. How much do you think this is going to scare you even more? Do you want to go live in a cage? Or do you want to go die of cancer underneath a fucking tree? At least you get a little bit of shade. Because we're going to die anyway. All we got to do is kill them off and spend the time. This is going to stop you from having sex with women we don't want you to have. This is going to keep you mad. It's going to keep you financially, mentally fucked up beyond anything you want. Look at this. Oh, and there's one more last of the ticket, huh? What do you think these tickets do to a cancer patient when you're about to die? They tell you you have 3 months to live, 6 months to live. That's what they told me. I gave the hospital my blood and I nearly died and went in a coma. I don't sue the hospital, my job site. I never get one raise at Standard Register. Not one fucking raise. 3 months before I died, remember, 3 months after my transplant, it was not even 3 months. It was a month. It was 2 weeks before I get fired. 6 months after I get out of the hospital, I go back to work. They fired me 6 months later. In order to rub it in my face, you know what my boss did? He goes, I complained to my boss. I said, I've been working here for 3.5 years and I've never asked for your raise. I've never missed a day of work. I've stayed in late when I needed. I'm pushing out more work, the equivalent of 2 workers. And I can prove it on the cameras, I can prove it on my labor, but I talk very nice and respectful to Doug Brown. And Bill Barkley, that old motherfucker too. And I said, you think that maybe I can get a raise? And I told my workers, I said, you never gotten a raise since you worked here? You're supposed to get at least a raise every year, at least $1? No, I've never gotten a raise. To rub it in my face. He says, all right, he goes, Hector, I want to talk to you. All right, well, I sent the notification to the HR, and yeah, we'll work on getting you a raise here in a couple of weeks. 2 weeks later, he walks in the office, you're fired. I didn't sue the hospital, didn't sue the company I work for, didn't ask for a raise. I don't have any extra money. I start getting these tickets. I worked at this company for almost 4 years, about 4 years total. 3.5 permanent. I'm getting these tickets. What do you think this does to a cancer patient? You don't think I'm being targeted? I'm trying to hold a job. Was I trying to steal my dad's money or my mom's money now because she has dementia? How about Frankie being raped the whole entire time from Michael Jackson? Who's getting a brand new car? What did I do? What happened? Look. Oh, it's Merry Christmas now, huh? I had my best friend die the day before Christmas, the day of Christmas, the day after Christmas. Robert's right, huh? What do you think that does to What do you think this does to a cancer patient? Who do you think gives a shit? Who do you think that these team members, these faggots, these were all gay homosexuals, cops? I don't think one of these tickets came from one female, an actual female. Maybe one, or one pullover. I'm going to say maybe one pullover is what I mean, because every time they pulled me over, almost every time they gave me 3 tickets, because I never had my inspection ready, I never had my registration, and I never had insurance because I couldn't afford it. Because this tickets, because you wouldn't give me a job, because you wouldn't help me, because I was just trying to steal my dad's money. Oh, hold on, go die in a hospital. But hold on, you want to claim these cops don't know what these faggots? They knew exactly who I was. Sometimes they gave me 3. Most of the time they gave me 3 tickets. Sometimes there were probably times when I finally got my inspection and I had to get it crooked. I had to go to Harry Hines and shit, and I'd get it there, and then get an inspection sticker. When I got the inspection sticker, then they just give me 2 tickets, but I could still have my car towed because I'm driving with that driver. Sometimes I got 4 tickets. There were at least 1 or 2 times the police officers would even tell me this. I'm going to say they wouldn't tell me this. They have cameras. So you can pull up the cameras of these pull up when they pull me over. I never drove with a valid driver's license, no insurance, bad inspection, and bad registration. There were times and there was at least one time they gave me 4 tickets in one pullover. Once you get 1 ticket, first offense for no insurance, $250. Second, and anything after that is $500. Every ticket after that is $500 for no insurance. $500. That's what you get. No inspection, bad registration. They give me so all the tickets that I got were all insurance, no insurance. At least in every pullover they did was no insurance ticket and a driver's license. They gave me several tickets every time they pulled me over and towed my car, then throw me to jail. You don't know anything about, I forgot to tell you this, the times that I had to sit in jail was pay this off. I'd lose my job. Who do you think is going to get a girl? Who do you think is telling you who's in control? You won't shut your fucking mouth. I'm going to tell the police officers. Who do you think is doing an investigation now? They just took my dad's fucking money. They're supposed to keep me safe. Oh, is that what you were doing? Were you threatening me over there for hip-hop and Michael Jackson? Remember, now you want to claim my dead sister. No, now you want to claim my biological father. No, you know what? Let's put this on Hector because he kept quiet because he didn't want to talk about rapes. He didn't want to talk about Frankie being raped, my mom being held hostage. Who do you think the monster is now? I never signed any paperwork. When it came, oh, and this is Native American Indian guys, what you do to the rural people that own this land. Where is the paperwork for my dad's house? And now they're shooting me in my rectum right now, violently. Where is the money, my dad's real estate house? What right do you have? If I'm not his son, then why do you have the right to take my dad's house and money and say where it went? If my mother has all this fucked up, and you're blaming this on my mother, why do you have the right to say you take that money when it was to be honored? You're lying and you manipulated that situation. And you did it because of those bastard fucking cops and those motherfucking Cooper family. That's why you fucking did it, for your white supremacist shit. Nobody knows that I've said these stories so many fucking times, what these people did and what they did to Frankie and what they did to my mother. Frankie's having his ass ripped open. He is crying from fucking... I asked him, he has to get off his bike and walk with his bike. He's doing this. I'm going to act out when Frankie was having his ass ripped open, because when Ken Cooper showed him that good fucking he got in his ass and he punched him, Miguel, he was Ken Cooper with a crucifix in the police force. Because this is Sarah Cooper that really didn't do it. He's going to pay. Remember suicide is Kenneth at the radio station. Until you're not going to find out until you lose your life and time in life. This is what Frankie's doing. He gets off his bike and he's doing it from the minute we go maybe 20 yards right off the property of Good Elementary. He has to walk his bike and he's doing this. he's doing that, and he's moving like that. He's grabbing his body, and I'm like this, Frankie, what's wrong? Are you okay? What's wrong? What's wrong? When I'm walking or sort of around him, I can smell this like blood and like a stench of like feces, and I'm like, oh, he doesn't say anything. His eyes, you know, you ever seen when girls cry? Real girls, real born females, not transgender Barack Obama's daughter. Has clots underneath the mascara, kind of clots, or you know when you cry a lot and kind of clots up the eyelashes. And he keeps his head down. He's just having his ass good fucking, so that Kenneth can look like hip hop with a crucifix, because a hip it to hip hop because it's pop up. This is hip hop. This is, you know, I need to take care of Susanna. You know, I know how things work. This is nice, sending on the beat. Head crack, hit it up at the radio station. Oh, my niggas, you know, we know the struggles of the jailhouse. Oh, wait. Is this how we do the hip hop, the pop, the pop? You make your decisions. But I don't think I was a thief. And I never was. But I think I have a right, whether you want to believe a crucifix or Buddha or whatever, I think I had a right to defend this money. Did I even get $700 a year? I got $44,000 from my dad dying. That's what this money is guilt money because it's a funeral fucking money. I have to say thank you to these motherfuckers over here to say that that's what you gave me. So I'm not saying, oh, thank you, Dad, you gave me something for fucking 7 years. No, I gotta say thank you to them. This is Kenneth Cooper protecting his mom and dad the whole fucking time. You see white power, get some good white, and then you say you have, you know, Mexican. You know the rhythm. You know how hip hop is. I don't even get to say, oh, you know, Dad. You know, shit, soccer games, rapes, karate practice. Not all perfect. Just there, thank you for something, shithead. Oh, I mean, my dad. Oh, now I'm a bad person. Right now, I just want to go after the motherfucker. You see how they turn their tables on me? I got $700 a fucking year for that shit. I never thought about that. I thought I did get the outcome of that was $6,000, a little over $6,000, because Frankie didn't want that money. But Frankie didn't have to do that. That was Frankie that did that. And I didn't even get that money. Sarah and Ken said they paid for the funeral. So my dad didn't give me shit when he's dead. Do you know who gave me something? My mother did give me, which is her twin, which is a portion of that house, which was I talked about this a little bit ago in this video. 7,500, 8,000, something like that. Now, if I got that, and my mother's telling me, you're lucky, no, I gave that to you. Okay, well, she did. And what did he give me? What did Raymond Hernandez Palomo give me? What the fuck did he give me? It was my mother that gave me that, and she did, because that's mommy. That is my mom. He didn't give me anything. I gotta be thankful for my mother now, because now my mom's bringing a trash bag. Just a few weeks before that, just a few months before that, here's your trash, worthless dead body. It was a trash bag, I swear to God. So what did I get from my father? I didn't get anything. I got nothing. Someone showed up with all their money, bought my mother a house and all this, took everything, my dad, my money, everything, and kicked me out of the house. I had to keep begging to say thank you to Kenneth and his parents, and then that's who gave me the fucking money. It was my fucking it was my father didn't give me anything. See how it goes entangled. My mom did give me, because she didn't have to. But you got to understand, my mom's half of the money. My mom's half of the money. She told me she's not giving me shit in the very beginning, even after when I was like 15 years old, 16 years old. I knew I wasn't entitled to any of that. She doesn't. That's her money. I knew that. But my dad's money, she's the one that told me she's the one that gave that to me. My father, who I'm sitting next to, fucking soccer games, watching movies, I don't get anything. I don't get anything from him saying that, here, son, I want you to have a good youth, life, a house. The world is an awful place. They'll rape you here. They'll kill you and they'll throw you in jail and all. It's a real bad place in this world. Look, it's a real bad place. Look how many tickets are here. Look, this is an example. This is how bad the world is. Look at the police officers. Man, you got so many criminals, aren't they? Look. Man, who sent these officers? Who planned this again? Oh, they're just doing their job because they're catching the criminals, huh? Okay, well, my dad wants to say, all three of you sons, I want to make sure that you're going to be taken care of and you're not going to be digging in a trash can like food, like I nearly was, sleeping next to him, which I was doing for years, for months. Let me take a look here. Yeah, Hector, you were there for 6 years in a nursing home, and you didn't have to hear people crying and asking for blankets. This is a detective work. Frankie got raped here. Yeah, look, I got the evidence here. No, detective work right here. Frankie got raped anally here. Hector didn't want to say anything because I know he's an enemy. Keep him preoccupied, play him stupid. Detective work here. Don't worry, we're going to get a DJ contract. Don't worry, your music make you feel good when Michael Jackson sings a song. Tom Barack Obama when he threatens you. Can't even sit down and eat your Happy Meal. Oh wait, that's what my dad gave me, huh? Oh no, he's dead too now, huh? Pig. White House, Marine died. Marine got burned over there. I gotta feel sorry. I gotta make an order. My dad doesn't get to say, here, son, I wanted you to say, I don't want you to suffer. Like when I was a kid, my dad would tell me this. When I was in a nursing home, my dad told me this. Julian and Frankie will tell you this in the very beginning. Julian was very fond of this as well as I was. He said, and always knew, my dad wanted to say, and he says in front of Julian, I want you guys to have a house. He goes, I need to keep you guys safe. You three guys, he goes, I need to keep you all safe. I need to keep you all safe. This is before his suicide and after. Because I want the house to go to you guys. I want you guys for you guys. Here, dig in a trash can. You see how President Barack Obama for the niggas? How about you rape me with electronic devices with my mother's fucking sister's friend, transgender, who had their dick cut off? All I was asking was for a good job. Harassing me. You took everything, and you allowed these perpetrators, the ones you even knew that you were recording around me, to continue doing bad things. You helped them. And you allowed them to send faggots and this gay rampage against me. And that's what you did. And I know exactly. I'm bullet point sniper when it comes to this. I know what happened, and the president is covering this shit up. He's covering it up in line with the psychologists and his weapons what had happened. And that is why. I don't get a brand new car. Oh, wait. I'm about to say something that's even going to get you 10 times even more worse. Remember that? I told you that my dad really didn't give me money. They gave me the money. $4,200. It was $700 a year for doing the labor. $700 a year for doing the labor. I also buy my dad, I think maybe once, a pack of cigarettes. But I always bought him my mom bought cartons of cigarettes, and she would give them to me, and I give them to my dad. My mom's spending that money out of her own pocket. Or is it my dad stolen money? This gets worse. When I get this money, wait, this is hip-hop. This is 97.90 beat. This is hold on, this is white power here, you're going to get it now. This is police out, this is making sure the rapes don't go, with Frankie being raped, being punched, but you're going to put me, you think, in a safe place. You're waiting for me to do something bad because you want me to put me in the cage. It's going to happen. They towed my car. They towed my car. So what did I get now? If I didn't think you just didn't give me anything just now, no. Now I still owe you for your kindness because you paid it for him. Now, just point the finger somewhere else because now I didn't even get my car. And all those years that I had my car, from the age of that transplant, since I was 23, I never got in my car safe. Do you know what it feels like to get in a car with paranoia that you're going to get a ticket? You don't feel like it's your car. You don't feel insured. You don't feel comfortable. It's going to get more worse. It's going to get more worse. Before they tow my car, my transmission gets sabotaged. And they pour the fucking poison into my fucking transmission and total it. And it's a guy that looks exactly, I'm talking, this guy looked like an identical twin of Ken Cooper. And he begins threatening me about the money of my dad's house. I mean, not my money, but where I live. He goes, oh yeah, you live right over there, huh? Yeah, that's the George Bush Turnpike, yeah. I mean, this guy was, I swear to God, he pours the poison into my transmission, burns out. I have to call my other stepbrother who does a royal weddings, who was a little bit more nicer, but still pull out this horror bullshit in New York. And I had to ask him to borrow money. Can you let me borrow $2,000? It's $2,300. The cost of my transplant. It's $2,300 altogether. I had to call him to borrow the money because some guy poisoned my transmission, burnt it out. It's nearly a brand new car when they do this. The car has 40,000 miles when they burn out my transmission. It has 40,000. I mean, it's like almost a brand new car. It just got broken in. You know, the rudders, the transmission, the engine, fucking everything's still brand new. The car smells fucking brand new. The leather hasn't been worn out. Sunroof. It's a Honda Accord 2000 to 2001 or 2002 Honda Accord. I can't remember if it was 2001 or I think it was 2000. It was a 2000 or 2001 Honda Accord EX. No, not EX. It's V6 engine, VTEC. Luxury car, pretty car. What happens? My transmission I have to borrow money from New York. And now I feel guilty and he's asking me for and I fucking do everything to try to look for a second job on top of hair falling out of my head, all the money being stolen by these people. Who do you think is after the money? And who do you think ultimately was going to get it? Who's getting the punishment? They're taking the keys away from me. They're taking all that money and anything I get. Who do you think is doing the punishment? I just now have to live with that. I owe him now money, and I can't talk to this motherfucker either now because I fucking owe him $2,000, over $2,000. I still owe him that money to this day. To this fucking day, I still fucking owe him that money. Once I have my transmission fixed, I don't even drive with insurance or a license when I have my car fixed. I never get insurance. I take my car illegally there, hoping I don't get arrested. They fix it. I borrow the money. I leave. And I never have insurance or driver's license either this whole time. So I'm risking that they're going to tow it, my car, and they're going to put it in the impound. Those tickets do not cover the cost of what it costs to pay for my car out of the impound. All these tickets that I just showed you, it doesn't cover it. I don't have the paperwork to how much it costs to put my car out of the impound. It's $100 a day, $100 to $150 a day to leave your car in the impound. And then you have to pay probably, I think, y'all know, an extra fee, application fee, or whatever the fuck that is. This is what they do to me. But I'm the enemy, though, right, huh? So when I drive my car now, own my brother, or not brother, but his stepbrother, in New York, I owe him $2,000. When I start to get these tickets, by this time, after my transplant, I think I got somewhere around 4 or 5 tickets by then. When I call him, can you let me borrow $2,000? I'm $2,000 in debt. I start to get all these tickets. This is my dad's money. This is my dad's car. Oh, hold on, it's Sarah King Cooper's car. Why am I getting these tickets? I can't afford. I owe $2,000 in debt. How much money do you think it costs getting 3 tickets? One $500, $125. Bad registration is a $200 ticket to $175. A bad inspection is the immediate $125 first offense. I don't know what it is, but nothing. All tickets on an insurance, no, a bad inspection is a minimum $125. After that, I think it's more. I'm not sure. It could stay $125. I'm getting these tickets. I just owe you $2,000. I'm getting all these tickets again. I can't pay him. I'm getting threatened to what you can and cannot have. I just got cancer. I didn't give the hospital any money. I didn't sue the company I work for. Now I owe him $2,000 in debt, and I just paid the hospital $500,000. You see who's playing who's stupid? But I saw Michael Jackson's dad on the fucking goddamn bus on my way to work one day. Do you remember that goddamn shit though? When the bus driver slammed on the brakes? I thought I got a car from the old man to somewhat appreciate. No, it's... Guess who I feel emotion gave me the fucking cross. I mean the car. I'm making $8.50 an hour at the end of the 5 months that I'm working for Ridgeways. $8.50 an hour. And they're giving me these tickets, and I got just cancer. But I needed my dad's money, and I needed these things. Who do you think the bad person is now? Who do you think is going to cover it up now?